What's up, guys? So this past weekend, I took the Z5 and the Z9 out to film and photograph a political candidate here in South Carolina. He's actually a current House rep for our state house, one of the districts down here. He really wanted people to have an inside look at his life and who he personally is. So I took the Z5 to make sure that I had my lightest camera on a gimbal. I have the Ronin S gimbal, and it's kind of hard to work with if there's something too heavy on it. I think 8 pounds was the limit, if I remember correctly when I got it reading that, but all I know is that the lightest equipment that I have is best for that gimbal. So I took the Z5 to do all the filming with at 1080, 60 frames per second. And I put the 35mm on that and left it on there. I ended up having to ditch the gimbal as the day went on, but I will talk about that in a minute. I used my Z9 to take the photographs with, and I eventually filmed with that as well. And I predominantly kept my 50mm 1.8S on there, and I did switch to my 70-200 for maybe 10 minutes of this long, like 6-hour day. So a couple days before the shoot, I went out to hang out with him. He said he wanted me to come see a glimpse into his life, like what his everyday life was like before we started filming. So one of the things that I found out while I was doing this is that he actually walks his cat. Apparently his cat does not like litter boxes and also doesn't want to go outside by himself, which I find that interesting and different. And I said, well, I definitely have to film that. So I did. So the cat, he doesn't use a leash or anything, but the cat just stays right beside him and they just walk outside together. The candidate has 20 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. So I thought, okay, that's very important that I film him with some of his family. A lot of them live further away in different states, but he was able to get some of his grandchildren to come over for the session this past weekend. So I thought that was important, of course, to show this is who he is. He's got all these grandchildren and he loves his grandchildren. We went to 9 different locations. Now this is why I had to ditch the gimbal and 2 cameras, and so I just stuck with the Z9 because of course it's the best camera that I have. Why wouldn't I? I'm really not the steadiest person, so ditching the gimbal is not my favorite idea in the world, but something had to give because it was just so much so fast. So the 60 frames per second really helped, and the vibration reduction really helped. As a veteran himself, he wanted to showcase the appreciation he has for those that sacrificed their lives for our country. So we did go to a veterans memorial, and as we're at the memorial, he's telling me a very harrowing but brave story about the battalion that the memorial was erected for. This is one of the things that I absolutely love about my job, is learning about different people. Every client is different and every history is different. And so for me, it's so educational and cultural. I'm able to make connections with people I otherwise wouldn't have. So what was going through my mind during the shoot or before the shoot was that I wanted to treat it sort of like a personal branding lifestyle session, since of course he said he wanted me to have a glimpse inside of his life and to translate that to people that would eventually vote for him. So what I wanted to do was take a ton of photographs in different situations, which I did. So I took about 300 or 400 photographs. I narrowed it down to, I think, about 150 that I'm going to deliver to him, so that throughout his campaign, you know, every week he might be able to post a different picture with, like, maybe meme it out or put a quote by it. Just something nice, that kind of like what personal brand photographers do for branding for people's Instagrams and stuff. Of course, this is just for the campaign. But one of the things I found out during our little walkthrough was that his wife likes to play the piano. And I also found out that she does most of his mailing, emailing, like anything that, even his filing, so any of the ethics stuff, she takes care of, like, pretty much the whole back end of his campaign and any paperwork. And so I thought, you know, I'll get her playing the piano with him beside her, you know, important things like that, because she really is the backbone of his campaign, and so he's going to have pictures of her that he can post throughout his campaign, talking about his appreciation of her and, you know, how he wouldn't have his campaign without her. Even in the 6 hours, we did not finish what we wanted to accomplish. So I'll be going out again next week to be doing some voiceovers. Maybe I'll bring my black background to maybe get some dramatic parts for his ad. I'll also be bringing my drone because we didn't have time for that this past weekend. So I'll be getting drone shots of the different cities and areas in his district. But I will not be showing his ad here. Of course, I'm showing little clips, but I will not be showing his ad here because number one, this is a photography channel. And number two, I just feel like we all need our space. We all need our hobbies or our activities or our things that we do that we can kind of disconnect from politics and enjoy each other with the things that we have that we do like together. Obviously, I do not feel like we need the controversy or the stress of politics on my channel. So even though I did want to make a video about the photography aspect of this, I don't want to make it a partisan channel. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I will see you guys next time.